Hey everybody, and welcome back to Dude's Brunch, a podcast about popular culture, internet garbage, and black coffee. I am your host, Taylor Olmstead, and with me it's Tyler Reed. Tyler, what did you have for brunch today?
Hey everybody, today for brunch, I had gluten-free pumpkin bread French toast. Catherine and a friend made it yesterday, and so she decided to, like regular pumpkin bread, and then he decided to prepare it as French toast. I don't know how traditionally French toasted it actually was, but it tasted good nonetheless.
I can get behind that. That sounds like a really great alternative French toast.
Yeah, pumpkin bread's just good in general.
It really is, and we are officially in pumpkin season now, so I don't see why not. Let's get those decorative gourds out and go to town.
Gotta use them for something.
Sean Evans is here. Sean, what did you have for brunch today?
Hi. I had leftover cinnamon rolls. Like
your typical Pillsbury tube cinnamon rolls?
A Giant brand.
But the same idea, right? The ones that come in the tube.
Giant Food, the company that I work for, I had their store brand cinnamon rolls.
And I'm sure they were delicious.
They were good. They were very good. Better than that Pillsbury stuff.
Certainly cheaper.
Honestly, I don't know. I haven't had Pillsbury in a little bit. I've just been eating these since I moved here. But they were good. They are good cinnamon rolls. They hit the cinnamon roll spot. Pro tip: use that stoneware that you make your pizzas on in the oven to get that crispy bottom. Caramelize that cinnamon.
Always got a crispy bottom.
My brunch was also full of pro tips. I had some scrambled eggs and toast and French press coffee. But then I ate it while watching the Great British Baking Show, which is really the best way to start a morning. It's just nice and polite, and there's pretty pastries and a little old British lady telling people that their pies have a soggy bottom. It was thoroughly enjoyable, 10 out of 10.
Have you ever tried to make a pie?
I have, but only with pre-made crust because handmade pie crust is awful. It's so hard to do.
Did you have a crisp bottom on your pie?
I did, but only because I didn't do a top crust. It's a lot harder when you're trying to bake two crusts. I know.
You heard it here first, folks.
Also, maybe not a pro tip, but a tip. You can actually take those store-bought cinnamon rolls that Sean had for brunch, and if you put them into a pie pan and smash them down essentially into the shape of a pie, and then put apple pie filling in there, it makes for a really good Dutch apple pie with basically no effort.
That's some pretty awesome Southern cooking down. I feel like that you found this out down there.
Southern scouts really know how to do it.
I found this out through a coworker. Yeah, they were.
God, I'm so doing that.
Yeah, it was so easy. I was like, why did I make?
Who are they? Do they have a day? Did they have a federal holiday named after them? We should do that. Whoever you are, Taylor's coworker, thank you.
Yeah, it's a genius idea.
You're gonna make me a hero at Thanksgiving.
Wow, Sean, this is so delicious. Wow.
What's your secret?
Love.
And carbohydrates. So I want to do some follow-out. I forgot to mention this in Shameless Plugs last week, but we did run the promo during the episode. Friend of the show, Tess Stevens, has a new podcast that she's doing with her dad. It's called What You Didn't Know with Tess and Matt, and she is interviewing her dad about his 30 years of experience in broadcast journalism. The first two episodes were about his coverage of the O.J. Simpson trial while he was working at a station in L.A. at the time, and it was fascinating. A new one just went up about the Menendez brothers murders that I haven't listened to yet, but I'm really excited to check it out, and Tess is doing an awesome job with it, so definitely wanted to give her a shout out for that.
Hi, my name is Tess Stevens, and I've been a journalist for a few years, but my dad has been a journalist for over 30. And this podcast is about some of the major cases that he has covered, including the Menendez brothers murders, the Michael Jackson trial, the O.J. Simpson trial, the Rainbow Man, the Richard Ramirez Night Stalker trial, and even an interview with Manson family member Susan Atkins. So strap in, because this is What You Didn't Know with Tess and Matt Stevens.
So I've been sitting on this short little topic for a little while and just wanted to get Sean and Tyler's opinions on it. This is going to be a very visual topic, so links are in the show notes. But the Library of Congress recently had a new logo commissioned, and there's been a lot of controversy over this new logo, and so I wanted to talk to you guys about it and what your thoughts were. So I've sent you a link to an article of comparing the previous logo and the new one. What are your initial reactions?
Layman opinion here, this sucks. This is terrible. This is an organization that I really wanted to work for, that I spent a lot of time just casually looking at their logo, and like, this is terrible. I didn't know could be called the Library of Congress.
Tyler, as our resident graphic designer, how do you feel?
Oh, goodness. Okay. I feel like we need to just fill me in exactly what the fuck the Library of Congress does exactly.
Oh, they do a lot of stuff, man.
World's largest library.
They do a lot of stuff. So I guess I can give you an overview because I kind of know a little bit more of what they do. So they archive a lot of things of basically every medium and try and make it accessible to everybody in America, not just your local jurisdiction. If you publish a book in the United States, there has to be a copy that is in the Library of Congress, so they keep all that stuff. A lot of records as far as government and musical are kept there as well. They also hire a lot of archivists and scholars to house rare manuscripts, rare pieces of American history. And they also have a very, very, very well done research branch called the Congressional Research Service, which provides very high level and comprehensive research to members of Congress and the administration at the request. On any topic, they have subject matter experts that were willing to help you, and that's free. A lot of these people hold really high degrees in their field, or they're field experts. It's one of the better services. Personally, that's what I really wanted to do. That's why I know kind of more about that particular brand of Library of Congress. But they have a lot of functions, a lot.
Okay. So I think in order to appropriately comment on this, I think I would have to know the intent of what they're trying to do. And so I think if the idea is to kind of make the Library of Congress like more sexy, like if it's trying to make people aware of the brand and use the brand in a more active way, because I mean, I had no idea what this even was. Like I've maybe heard of it before, but I had no concept of what it did. So that being said, if this is, and the intent of this is for this to be, to hold almost all media created America, like, I don't know, it seems like it contains a lot of things. I mean, that's going to be old, that's going to be new. It feels like it needs to be approachable and it needs to feel like something that people will use. So just comparing the two logos, you look at the first one, it feels very, I don't want to say sterile, I don't want to say clinical, but it feels very...
Paint us a word picture. What does it have in it? Like, what does it look like?
Old. So I mean, it uses Trajan, which is, the idea of this sort of almost monolithic, sort of like Greco-Roman sort of typeface. And the icon is sort of just a book that kind of loosely resembles kind of like the American flag. And I think the word mark itself is pretty useful, or not the word mark, but the icon is pretty good. I would say if I had to guess, I would just update the type treatment, but that's not what we got. So I think the intent is to make it feel more bold, more edgy, which I think it's best observed when you look at the bookshelf concept small video that they have that's a couple seconds long. That kind of shows the logo in motion, and it kind of explains the library idea a little bit better. And I think that's a pretty nice usage. I mean, it makes a little bit more sense in that context, but if you're just kind of just looking at it with, like, just straight up, it feels a little weird. And logos kind of
Yeah, describe for our listeners what it looks like when it's just a stationary logo.
Okay, so the logo is, it's the word library, and it's bold, it's black, it's long, but it's also kind of thick, but it's not like wide and thick. It's long and thick. And then next to it, in small letters, in all caps, is Library of Congress in orange. So it's sort of, I would say a lot of people's critique is that it says library twice, and you're like, why do you need that? I do think that's a little silly, but I think when you see it kind of used to sort of separate things out, so like a lot of different lockups involve library being separated, the big black library being separated, and then having images put kind of in between the word. Like there's one of a bouquet of flowers that's LIBR flowers ARY. where there's like a violin that's L-I violin Brary. I think it looks cool. It doesn't necessarily have a function. It's really more about the style than the utility of it, which is probably what people don't like, is that it doesn't feel very utilitarian for a library.
Yeah, so my challenge with this logo, like, as a system of branding, I think this is extremely effective, like Tyler was saying. The more you look at the use cases for it, like the mock-up of the Library of Congress magazine looks awesome. And some of the page spreads that are in there. The social media branding, I think, is great, where it's a black Library of Congress, left justified. And then below that, in larger, taller orange letters, are the sub-libraries. So arts, law, world. Like, I kind of like that because it shows, like, the hierarchy. The stationary, like, big black library and then small orange Library of Congress just doesn't work for me, though. It feels redundant and kind of confusing.
Yeah, it kind of loses its punch once it gets to t-shirts, mugs, and totes. Because they really like the idea of, like, repeating it, like, library over and over again, like the same lockup. So the logo just ends up, it's fine. It's just, it's just not... I don't know. It doesn't need to be repeated. It's already kind of weird as it is. It's already repetitive.
It still doesn't win with me. And the reason I say that is because, okay, so you can use it by dropping different things in it, and I get it. The whole idea of the library, just a library being just books. If you don't want to send that message, that's fine, because they're right. Libraries do not just encompass books anymore. We're in the 21st century. I think that a lot of people know that already, that you don't just go to the library for books. What does bother me, and this is just a personal thing, but I don't know if you guys see this as well. When I see something in all capital letters, it almost looks distorted. And particularly because this font is so blocky and so, like, it's so, I don't know how you would describe that. Like, it's very rigid in that sense, that stuff tends to look misspelled or distorted when it's capitalized. Like, the use of grammar seems to just go out the window with it. And this just doesn't... You went from a logo that had such good symmetry and worked so well, and went to something that is asymmetrical, but not in a good way, not in like a like a rule of ninths or whatever it is. What is that thing for photography? Rule of thirds, but not in like a good rule of thirds kind of way. It's just long, and no matter where you put it at, it doesn't look any better. Like when you put a painting between something, or okay, I get it. It's got a violin. It's got a cherry blossom. It's got a photograph. It's got a painting. I really just think that it still looks distorted. It just literally, in text, literally might be the wrong word there, screams library.
So I pretty much am in line with Taylor that it's a good system, but it's not the logo itself. I feel like it is not great. Now that being said, like, we don't have like these like masterminds like Paul Rand anymore, or like these design greats. Like, these are things that are like designed by committee. These are like things that are designed for like years and years, or like months and months. And it's like, we just can't accept that it's going to take a while, or there needs to be like care and planning put into it. I don't want to say we're like design is being like devalued by like everyone being a designer. I'm kind of saying that, but I don't know. It just feels like it feels rushed. It feels a little rushed, but I feel like they could have come up with something.
Yeah. No, it feels like there's no identity here anymore.
I think there's definitely an identity. I just don't think that the end mark is great. I do not think it's great. I think everything surrounding it, I think, is very well considered.
Right, but I guess what I'm saying is, when I look at the old logo, I see a book that looks like an American flag that uses blue and gray. Like, it seems very America-y. When I look at Library of Congress, it looks like some kind of modern art museum where you can go and look at stuff. Like, I almost feel like the same typography would be used in describing a MoMA, at any kind of museum of modern art, at any kind of avant-garde little pop-up that might have been seen anywhere nowadays. And I feel like it's already dated for me.
Maybe that's the point.
It's already, that the font has already so laden with like so much other stuff. It just doesn't. And two, I think as well, living here in DC and having gone to the Library of Congress, I do not associate the Library of Congress with this kind of font. I don't. It doesn't match the rest of what the institution itself is all about. Man, I'm heated over this. This is so fucking stupid. But like,
I mean, that's just what I'm saying is that I think that there's a clear intent to make it feel more modern and more approachable. I mean, that's got to be it, right? There's no other.
Well, absolutely. And I'm on the website of the company that did this for them now, and it seems like that's kind of the approach they're going for with everything right now. Like, they just did some new branding for Amex. They've done a bunch of art museums, like Sean was saying, not surprising. They also did the design of the Designed by Apple in California book, which I think we talked about on this show a long time ago. I'll put a link in the show notes. It feels like they picked this agency because of their work with respected museums and like institutions of that level, which makes sense. But I agree with Sean that the Library of Congress is kind of a different type of challenge than a modern art museum because of its ties to government and its history and its legacy. Like, it's just so much more regal, I think, than this logo makes it seem.
So, I mean, so if you look at actually on this website, there's the opinions on this. And then there's a choice between people are voting on the primary logo, the logo variations, and the application. And if you look at the results, mostly people, I mean, they all hate it. I mean, across the board, there is not a great response to any of this. However, it's mostly on the logo, with 73% saying it's bad. But on the logo variations, 61%. And then the application, 49% saying it's bad. So the application seems to be fine. And the logo variations, mostly bad, and the logo is very bad, which is about how I feel.
I mostly just wanted to get you guys fired up about this. That was really the point of this topic, because I knew that Sean would get fired up about this.
If you want to get really fired up, you just take a look at this Frisch's Big Boy that was created. I don't know if we've ever talked about this.
When was this preposterous nightmare unleashed upon people? Where are his pants?
Have neither of you seen this before?
No.
No, is this a new logo?
Why does he have suspenders and no pants?
Oh my god, I'm so glad I decided to share this with you all. Oh my god.
Okay, to paint our listeners a word picture, if you're not, I'll try and use this as chapter art in podcast apps, but if your app doesn't support this, this is the classic Big Boy logo, as in like the hamburger Big Boy. He's been slightly modernized with thicker lines and kind of a reduced feel, but he cuts off essentially at the nipples.
Listen.
Like right at the middle of his chest, he just stops existing.
Lucas Chaffin.
Except for his suspenders, which go over the top.
Lucas Chaffin, if you're listening to this right now, get away from our burgers. You flippy-haired, suspender-wearing weirdo. No one wants to see you around their food.
He does kind of look like Lucas, you're right.
He does look like he does.
This has been like the number one. This is like, I've had like my like laser sights pointed on this logo for years. It's been like this for like a year or two. I mean, This
is what they actually use now? No, you're lying to me. You were lying to me that this is what they use now.
It is. I am not lying at all.
What?
It is an abomination.
This looks like somebody had a terrible time with mascara and shadow.
I mean, it's like, okay, this is the word picture I painted for someone. Your like boss comes over, he's like, Steve, we need this Frisch's logo done by noon. What are you doing? And he like shuffles some papers. And he's like, I'll get right on it, boss. Don't you worry, I'll have it done in no time. And then like he checks his phone and he says it's 11:30. I'm like, shit, I gotta have this done. I guess I better start that Skillshare class on Illustrator that I got 3 months ago when I was assigned this job. It just top to bottom is an abomination. Where is his nose? Why are his cheeks triangles? Where do his suspenders go? Why are his eyebrows like that? Why is he why are there shadows everywhere but conveniently not surrounding his nose? Did they just cut it off?
And that's what I mean. Well, how does he have a shadow on his face and not on his arm or his sleeve? And why is the shadow coming up from the bottom of it? Why is he top lit from like a weird, like where is the light coming from here?
It's obviously coming from his hair.
It's coming from his hair.
It's a reflection into his hair.
Yeah, but it looks like he's got a comb over.
I'm trying to give you a link to the new Big Boy design in use in the logo. Let me see here. Okay, yeah, click on that.
Oh, God, it's just worse.
that Wikipedia link I just sent.
I mean, like...
Yeah, when you put words around it, it's even worse.
There was no problem with it before. I don't understand what happened.
Did they change their color scheme too?
I don't think so. It looks basically the same.
Because I thought it was like green.
No, it's always been red.
It was like green and white, kind of.
They've always been red, white, and black.
Oh, okay. And yeah.
But I just think that someone got paid thousands of dollars to make this.
Oh, God.
And, like, there are high school students that could probably do a better job making a logo than this.
Listen, if you want to start a lawsuit, I will sign your petition. This is terrible.
At least we can all agree on something.
All right, so for our penultimate episode of Dude's Brunch, we wanted to do another one of our world-famous internet garbage episodes, what Sean is calling the Internet Garbage Swap Meet, where we're all just going to lay out all the garbage we have and see what happens. So I've got a big archive of stuff, of course. Sean and Tyler have some things. And we're just going to go through them and react to them and see how it goes. Sean, you want to go first?
Yes, my first submission is Elmo's death metal song.
This is going to be bad. I can already tell this is going to be bad.
Oh, yeah.
Everybody, Snuffy, Big Bird, come see what Elmo did.
Oh, what have you done, Elmo?
What have you done, Elmo?
Elmo wrote his own song.
Really? What's it called?
Elmo's song.
Oh, clever title. Yeah, I wish I'd thought of that.
Well, do Snuffy and Big Bird want to hear it?
Oh, sure.
Okay.
Now, the first question you're asking is, Elmo's playing the piano, but there's a lot more going on here. And the answer is, Elmo's just a badass like that. Don't tickle Elmo, because Elmo tickles
Well, all his
back.
friends get involved.
Oh my gosh. I love that they've tried to lip sync the puppets to the vocal.
I know, they really gave it their all on this one.
The good news is that death metal songs typically never have that many words, so they really had a lot to work with.
Oh, this is so good. I love this.
Next time you need to get pumped for something, just remember, Elmo's metal song.
Number one comment. Now I know why Elmo is red. He's covered in goat blood. This is fantastic. I love how, like, lo-fi, or I guess how low quality the recording of the death metal song they use is. Like, it's really low bit rate and just shitty, and it really works well. And the lip syncing is fantastic.
It really feels like it's very on brand for me. It's really what it feels like.
Yeah, this video was made for Tyler.
It's I am Elmo. Hey everybody, I just want to sing you a happy song.
I love that you went right to oink metal. That was
my days as a metal vocalist are long gone.
Who was it that did that song, Bree? Hang on, let's fire up the Googler. I distinctly remember this being a song in Tyler's iTunes library.
Gee, thanks for letting us hear your song, Elmo. That was great.
Oh, of course. Of course it was Brokencyde. Let's all take a trip down Scream Metal memory lane real quick, shall we?
My favorite part is that the first comment is, "Holy fuck, this sucks."
Oh, this band was so bad. Oh. Anyway, so this actually dovetails nicely into my first piece of internet garbage. I found this video a little while ago, and I've been saving it for just this moment. This video is called Snap Back to Reality.
Snap back to reality. Watch your profanity.
A center of gravity.
Bisexuality.
Because this is what it does. It appeals to like the male fantasy.
Screw gravity.
Call up Sean Hannity.
It's a bold strategy.
Inside our galaxy.
We're snapping back to reality. Oh, there goes gravity. Mom's spaghetti.
I feel a lot of my minutes of my life having to be replaced. Okay.
So there's not a lot to this video. It's just 27 seconds long. But basically this person took Lose Yourself by Eminem, and they keep the first line, snap back to reality, and then drop in just a bunch of like clips from other random videos that vaguely fit the same meter. My favorite is just the clip of Trump saying Sean Hannity, because I feel like it's as close to being on rhythm as this video gets, weirdly. And now I just want a supercut of like a bunch of things Trump says going vaguely to the rhythm of this one Eminem song. I would be very here for that.
Not that we need to reward him anymore for anything he's ever done, but that would be very funny. My favorite part is where the guy at the very end just says the lyrics just as plainly as possible, and this ends with Mom Spaghetti, because everyone loves that joke.
I mean, you can't talk about this song without talking about Mom Spaghetti. Somebody somewhere has probably also made a somebody touching my spaghetti joke about this song. I'm sure that exists. It has to. All right, Tyler, what do you have? What's your first piece of internet trash?
All right. Well, I basically, I'm doing this one in one, so this might be a longer one. So, are either of you familiar with Bongo Cat?
No.
No.
No, not okay. All right, so we're gonna start here. So this is a YouTube thing, or not YouTube thing. This is a Twitter thing. Which started out as this guy had just posted a kitty cat, and he's just slapping his little hands right on the table. He says, slap, slap, slap. And it's just a gif that just goes on forever. And then someone then paired it to music with that being Super Mario World's Athletic. And so he taps his little hands in the rhythm. And so that sort of spiraled out of control. And so then people decided to get a little creative with it. And so the production value got a little bit more intense. So now this is I believe this is from Mario Party.
Oh, this is adorable.
You're like, and so then you're like, how far does this go? And this one's got legs. And then it goes on to Doug. The second one, there's 2 tweets there. The second one is a better, longer one.
Oh my god, I can't keep up.
Oh, that's awesome.
That's amazing.
So then this is the last one I'm going to show unless we really need to keep going. But this is one's from Katamari Damacy. This is like the title track of it. And I think it has the most things going on.
Oh my gosh, now they're singing. Oh my gosh. This is fantastic.
That's adorable.
And so it just keeps going. Everyone chooses their favorite song, and they make these little cats play it. It's wholesome.
Now, why is it that right after I'm done clicking on that, I have to look at some furry?
Because Twitter's weird now, Sean. Didn't you get the memo? Twitter's weird now.
No. I didn't get the memo.
I love this meme. This meme is fantastic. I love that it's extremely remixable. It's very adorable. It's nice and innocent. It doesn't have anything to do with sad, depressing stuff that's going on in the world. This is great. I want so many more of these in my life.
There's one for your personal time. It's a very good one.
I mean, you know what the question has to be, right?
What song are you gonna Bongo Cat?
That's exactly right. What would be the best Bongo Cat song?
Well, it has to be a song with the bongos, right? Of course.
Yeah, I think so.
Is it that Dave Grohl song?
Which Dave Grohl song?
The one that we talked about in our unnamed podcast. Wait, what's the song? What was Sean's song?
Oh, Song for the Dead.
Yeah.
I was going to say For Your Love. You know what I'm talking about.
No, I don't.
What? Oh my god.
Oh no, we've disappointed Sean.
Give us a link, Sean. You have to tell us what the song is. Give us a link.
It's by the Yardbirds. This is why we're having another podcast now, so you guys can be on this stuff.
Oh, For Your Love by the Yardbirds. Yeah, okay.
Yes,
I didn't realize that was what it was actually called.
Yeah. That or Apache.
Ooh, Apache would be a good one. Apache is in the neighborhood of my pick. I gotta do Soul Bossa Nova, otherwise known as the theme from Austin Powers.
Ooh. Good choice.
You could get a little cat in a little Austin Powers suit. It'd be adorable.
Oh, yeah.
Like, the bongo part's not that interesting, but you could have little cats playing trumpets and stuff.
That would be good. I like the Soul Bossa Nova. I feel like themes are usually the best because they usually don't have too many different things going on. You can kind of center on like one main thing and kind of have lots of like background things going.
Tyler, do you have a Bongo Cat pick?
Let's see. My favorite Dragonforce song.
Through the Fire and the Flames? Are there any other Dragonforce songs? Well, let's just keep the cringe on going because the next video I have for you guys, I apologize to the listeners. This is just an onslaught on my poor co-host, but this video is called Donald Pied in the Face number 5, August 2017.
Pie in the face, pie in the face, pie in the face. I want a pie in the face.
You owe me. Well, okay, so let's talk about this. You owe me probably at least 15 minutes of my life back so far. And this show is coming to a close. And you're really only digging yourself into a deeper debt of my time. This is one of the ways that you do that. So let's talk about this video.
Do you think he came after he made this video?
Oh my god.
But I mean, like, he's clearly just like there's something about weird content where people try to make things like they're like, oh, what's gonna make this more zany? What if I just say the same thing like 5 times? That's what crazy people do. Because he's just like, all these videos are like, I'm gonna say this thing. I'm gonna say this thing again, and then they just do it. You're like, okay, why so many times? I mean, it did work to make me horrified. But like,
what I want to know is, how does he decide how long between pies? He pies himself in the face like 3 or 4 times in this video, and in between he'll like sit there for a long time and just kind of do nothing.
Oh, he keeps going.
Yeah, and then he blows the whipped cream everywhere and rubs it all over himself, and then just starts the cycle again.
See, that's what I'm saying, Taylor. How is this not some sort of...
And I'm wondering, like, how choreographed is this? How does he know when it's time for another pie? And also, where is this little ditty about being pied in the face coming from? Like, he sings this little song, and I don't understand. There are also, like, more than 20 of these videos, which is very strange. I have so many unanswered questions, and I don't think I want to know how this turns out.
No, me neither.
Like, okay, like, I am not done with this. This is... Oh, God. Oh, no. I've returned. Okay. I am not done with this. Look at the description for this video. Tell me there's not something wrong here. There is something wrong with...
Read this out loud for our listeners.
Okay, I clicked on another random video. Donald gets 3 pies in the face, July 2018, my messiest video ever. This is absolutely one of the messiest pie in the face videos you will see. In this recipe for disaster, I mixed lots of shaving cream and breadcrumbs in 3 pie tins and created this totally humiliating self video, which right there is where you're like, okay, what is wrong? You're into this. Okay, the pies left my face and shirt looking like a complete and total mess toward the end. Great messy fun. Like, how is this not somebody's kink? This is... Taylor wanted some wholesome fun. Too bad. Everything's messed up. Anyway, let's talk about some trucks.
Well, this is in the theme of one of our best episodes of my own doing, by the way, the toy trains. I wanted to introduce the concept of toy trucks competing in a backyard trail park, because why not? This is internet garbage, but you really gotta like get to the middle of the video to get the more interesting stuff. So,
can you give us a time code that we can skip to?
Oh man, it really gets good at about, let's see, where's the cool part? You're right, there's no way.
Oh, here are our trucks.
I don't know, just get somewhere in the middle. There's all kinds of trucking around stuff.
It's not a race.
No, it's not. It's like an
obstacle
skills
course.
Competition. Yeah, you got gates and.
I mean, it's a race in that they're competing against each other individually on the course, not like against each other at the same time, which is what I wanted.
Okay, so they're talking about backups, like you get points deducted if you have to back up partway through.
Yeah, if you don't get a gate or something like that. It's like skiing, probably. It looks like it. If you don't get through the gate, you lose a point. If you don't, you get a time thing, you know? Now they're all racing their trucks. And
this is very much in the vein of Lego trains and synchronized canoeing. Like, this is a hobby that I didn't know existed, and I'm so happy that it's real. Like, it's a unique way of spending time, and they obviously care lots about it, and that's great. Oh, it's great when they crash. Oh, it's so good when they crash.
I'm like digging for like a video of them like competing against one another.
Oh no, they don't. It's just against the clock.
I mean, I'm looking for like other videos.
I gotta wonder how many hours they spent building this tiny obstacle course.
I mean, that's like the best part, right? Is that like this is actually like sick as fuck. Like they built this entire thing
out of household objects and sticks.
Oh, this dude's backyard must be just ripped up.
I like that they put little boys in the car.
Well, yeah, you gotta have little people in there.
You know, the one has a propane tank in the back.
Well, yeah, I mean, you gotta carry your propane and propane accessories.
I think if anything,
oh geez, they're driving them across tight wires now.
I think if anything, I've learned that these little boys can't handle too much. They're really pretty. They don't got a lot of get up and go.
They really don't.
But I guess also when you're trying to go over a tight rope, I guess you don't really have a lot of maneuverability. This feels like such a before like high speed internet activity.
Mm-hmm.
Because it's like I remember like my dad would like race like small cars and like dirt tracks. Like he would like make like remote control cars. I don't think they were like this kind of racing. It was more like regular ass car racing. And like he did that for a while, and then he just eventually just stopped. And he's like, "Well, I guess I'll just play video games instead. I'll just drive my race car game." So, but it's like it feels like you're just kind of, it's like very Calvin Ball-esque, where you're just kind of making rules up as you're going along. Like there's a clear set of rules, but they just like have it written down on like a yellow sheet of like lined paper. They just like flip back to all the time with reference. You're like, oh, well, you messed up here. You get deducted points.
All right. So, last piece of internet garbage for this episode. I found this one a little while ago, and it really and truly is just a wholesome piece of internet garbage. It's 43 seconds long, and I don't know. It's exactly what you expect it to be when it starts. This video is called Halo.
Hey, so check this out. You see that? Huh? It looks like I have a halo on. Halo, halo, 'cause I am such a good girl. I have a halo. I think I'm getting blessed from above because my lashes be looking so good. Or maybe it's my sucker punched lips. All I know is I've got me a halo. Halo. 2 Luma sweets.
Why every week on this show? You know, I was thinking today.
I love this podcast.
I'm sad. I'm sad that this is gonna end. You know, I'm sad. but sometimes you push me to break. You really do. You take pleasure in this.
This is not the worst thing I've made you watch.
No, it is not, but that's what I mean. You just continue to find this garbage and put it in front of Tyler and I, because he's the victim here too.
Now, okay.
Like, I just want everybody who's listening to know that, like, I'm not some kind of masochist that, like, seeks this out. Taylor, God,
How about we just watch a little Beyblade?
Yes, thank you. Bring us back.
Can we at least talk about this lady and her halo?
Okay, alright. So, I just want to know what the kind of person is that's like, what possesses people that this is, like, this was posted in 2017. This isn't like baby YouTube. This isn't like 2012, where we had dial-up internet and like everything was a potato and people didn't know how to use the medium. This is someone who's like, alright, I'm going to put this on the internet. I'm going to get real famous. And she just says stuff. Like, but why?
That's the thing that mystifies me about this video. Like, all of it, why? She's recording on some kind of camera that seems to require her to hold it out at arm's length with both hands, which is weird. I don't know what kind of place she's in. It looks like an office building, maybe. And there's a fluorescent light above her, which she says looks like a halo. And so then she sings a little improvised song about having a halo because she's such a good girl. And then she says what I think is the best line in the video, where she says, I think I'm being blessed from above because my lashes look so good. I don't know a ton about various world religions, but I don't think there's any religion where you get blessed for having good lashes. I don't know. Correct me, Sean. Am I wrong?
That you get what?
Where you get blessed for doing your mascara well.
Oh, God. I'm not sure. Probably. That's fine.
Is that the Church of Tyra Banks? I don't know. I mean, it's a cute little video. Like, she's an older lady. She's having fun. She's singing this little song. But it's just deeply confusing. It has 412 views. Like Tyler said, it was published in 2017. Has 3 comments. And the top comment is, what? Which is exactly how I feel. All right, folks. Well, thank you for bearing with us for another slog through the internet garbage trash heap. I hope you found something useful. Remember, everything in the internet garbage bargain bin is available for just one click. All you have to do is sit through it and subject your friends and closest podcasting co-hosts to whatever internet trash you find. Tyler, if the people find something and want to share it with you, where can they do that?
Hey everybody, you can find my design illustration work at tylerdreed.com, and you can find me on, just Instagram as TDR Design.
Sean Evans, if people want to help me waste you away to nothing, where can they send you bad internet videos?
They can find me at Twitter and Snapchat. No, not Snapchat. Instagram. At TellySean.
And of course, I am always collecting new trash for the heap, so if you find some internet garbage, you can tweet it at me at TC Olmstead. And that's it. Thanks everybody for listening. We'll be back next time with our series finale, the last ever episode of Dude's Brunch.